Here's the one trading indicator that you need to use as a beginner and understand how the market works is volume profile. And this is kind of a paid indicator since you get level 2 data, which is where orders are being placed. And I don't know if you can get this from TradingView, but NinjaTrader has this if you pay for the level 2 data, which is the live feed. And the indicator, the volume profile, is the most important because you get to see where orders are being placed. Therefore, where orders are placed, that's where orders are accumulating and where orders will gravitate to. Since orders are placed in a first in, first out fashion, big orders will move the price to where orders are accumulating. So as you can see, we are accumulating here, but there is more volume down here as well. So when we break this area, as you can see, that volume profile is a great indicator to see where support and resistance levels are. As you can see, these levels here are showing where price had accumulated the most, and these yellow or these purple lines are where point of control is, and that's where the middle of all of those orders had been transacted, or the most have been transacted. So you can tell that the orders are actuating in that area. So as you can see here, there's this purple line that is the point of control, and as you can see, the price had gone down to point of control and bounced off of it. So we can see that we will continue in an upward fashion since we had rejected the point of control, and now the point of control is just now moving here. So this is a dynamic indicator, and you can see if we go below here, then there is a price towards the price order fulfillment is moving towards the downside. It's a good indicator to kind of give you a direction of where you're going, as well as where price is accumulating. So if we end in this fashion, we will be moving towards the support area or resistance turning support. So we'll see that if we move to this area, since there was a previous point of control here, and we reject it, then there should be a bounce here, so we can tell where we're going. So if we are going to go below here, then there might be a higher indicating factor that we are going towards the downside, and the plan for this trade here would be to break below the volume and then head to the next volume cluster. So we have a good big candle here. We are below the volume cluster that has been accumulating here, and so we're going to look to see if we further move to the downside to accumulate in this area and then break towards the downside. So we will see. And this is a good engulfing candle, which had engulfed 1, 2, 3 candles. So there should be an indicator of a bias to move to the downside. And we have now point of control moving above us. But if it stays in this area, since this was a previous resistance, hopefully this does not turn into a support. So we will see if we bounce off of it and move towards the downside. I don't know why price has frozen there. Let's reload. Seems like a bit of a lag there. Probably internet issues. So as you can see that we did break above that support area, so that is where the accumulation of orders had transacted, and that area should be the new support, which is right here. So there was a lot of transaction accumulating here, which had brought the price down, so a lot of rejection to the top side. So hopefully this is a good premonition of moving towards the downside, but we will see. There's a lot of wicks rejecting to the top, so we will see. And why is it lagging? As you can see, we are rejecting, so hopefully right here is where we move towards the downside, but we will keep going and see. good area that this previous point of control and the current point of control is kind of fighting here. We will see if we move towards the upside, but I am betting that we probably might go to the downside and just filling this gap and reject. But this is a upward trend, so we are in an area of an upward trend. And for upward trends or trends in general, you want to place your trend lines where the movement has started. So there's this, get as many touch points, but there are also areas of price where there is trending in different manners. So like this double bottom, you want to start and hit the points where price had contested the most is where your trend should follow. So there's these indecision candles right here. This one, I don't know, a doji, and then there's another doji, but there's also this level here, so that's a good touch point. There's this hammer candle, so that's a good touch point, and this touch point, and we continue towards this touch point. As you can see, that kind of hit this angle right here, and where we had price had reacted towards this upward trend line. So you can kind of guess that we are headed in the upward direction, and this is a good indicator for following price. And these trend lines are dynamic, and if you know about a little bit of math, linear regression, that is how trends reverse. As you can see here, there's a little hammer candle here, and then price rejected off this one, so it's a valid trend line. And you can see that there's price here that it was projected, boom, boom, boom. So we will see if we bounce off here then go down, or bounce off up then down, or up then down, then up then down. So we'll see. We are currently forming two tops, and two tops mean a drop, hopefully, but we are still in this upward trend, so we need to break this yellow line, and we need to reject this teal line here. And this hammer candle is another touch point, so we can move our trend line to follow these significant candles. So if we move to the top, then it's possibly we're going to break this area and then move to the top, or reject and then reject, then possibly reject, move to the downside. So that is the current idea, since we do have quite a bit of gap fill here that is pending. So we will see if we do move towards the downside, and this is just the waiting game. Movement has slowed down since we are past 10 o'clock. Volume is not as volatile as the morning, so we will see if we reject this. So as you can see, price had reacted to this area, this theoretical area, which is a theoretical trend line, and so we are kind of accumulating orders here and here, since this is theoretical trend line for this reactionary projection. Boom. So if we break below here, good sign that we will continue to this area, and then we have to assess if price is moving in or past this support. So there's a little bit of resistance in this projected trend line, so we will see if we move towards the downside. There's 20 seconds left here, so we will see if we move up then down. So there is a lot of orders accumulating here to keep us above this projection, and I guess we'll see if we go up. So it is a black candle, so it'll probably go down. So it looks like we are moving up, so there might be orders being placed to move to the downside or people getting out. And looks like we had a strong rejection there, so there's possibility that we are heading towards the downside for people getting out of their big buy orders. So let's see. It is having a hard time getting past this, so we either have a strong break to the top or another downward move. And in the 5-minute candle, there is this hammer candle, so there's either an upward move to break towards this gap here or move down. So this is a resistance area, and we'll see if we break through it. Looks like we did hit the top side, and you can see that's kind of limiting us from this area. So we'll see if we break above this and then break above this, then there's going to be like an upward play. Let's see if we have any areas of interest. There are no gaps, but there is a big gap here, so there might be an upward play coming, but we will see. We first have to probably fill this area soon, but that's just up to the market. So we are at a major resistance. We need to understand how we react to this resistance. So we do have upward momentum here. You can see this is where accumulation of orders had happened, so the resistance is most likely there. So that'll be a good significant area to watch if we break above or below, and that's just how volume profile works. Where orders are accumulating, because where orders are accumulating, that's where orders are being transacted, so that's where price has to go. We do have a gap here, so if we do break above here, then there is some kind of magnetization to head back towards this area for what we would call a retracement. So this is possibly going to retrace here, since we had some rejecting here, but we do have this projected trend line here to probably hold us up. And since this is intersecting with a support area, then this is probably a good area to watch. In this area, as you can see, it did reject this, and we have 20 seconds left, so let's see if we continue to the upside, which we probably will, since this started without a wick, so we will see. There is no wicks in these 5-minute candles, so there is bound to go down eventually. Looks like this looks like a buy candle, since we are kind of stopped above this projected line and can see this push up. So we're probably heading towards this area here. You can see these orders are being transacted here, so there's probably some orders here. And then the next area of interest would probably be these next points of control here. Having a hard time. Let's see if we move up. We got a white candle, so this looks like it's bouncing off of this in a fashion of that being the rejection. So now we have to watch if we reduce the price below here, so there's a gap being filled. Could have a good entry here, but that was kind of a little too late, because there is the potential to bounce off this, which the price would be around here. So this might be the new support area. This is a bad trade. We'll just let it play out. Let's reduce risk. There's a bounce here, probably come up here. That should break even so I don't die. Okay, we're breaking through this resistance, turn support. Be a good trail stop here. And as you can see, we are where volume had accumulated before. That's where orders need to be fulfilled, because orders are bilateral. You buy it from someone who sold it to you, and if you're trying to sell your position to get out, you are selling it to someone who's buying your position. So you never really get one-off orders, you get pairs. So that's why if you ever were into the GameStop meme rocket ships, people were unable to get out of their positions because people were not buying at the peak of that rocket. Very hard to sell when you're on a rocket ship to the moon. No one's buying while they are in the area of the moon. So we did break above this resistance turn support, so we might have a little retracement here. As you can see, there's a lot of accumulation of orders being held here because of the point of control, and this is reacting to this volume, so you can tell where price will move since the width of this, or the height and width of this volume, is pretty fat. That means there's a lot of orders here, and you can tell that we were here, and this is where price started to accumulate. As you can see, the candle had stopped here and began here, went up and down, and then the price moved all the way to the bottom of the thickness of this volume profile, as you can see by this area. So if we move further down from here, then there's potential to move to this area since volume is here. You can see by these blocks, I'll block it out for you here, as well as this block of orders here was the movement. So you can see we're moving towards these areas of volume, and we are heading to the bot side, but this is a support area. As you can see, the price had been hesitating here. Point of control is actuating right here. So let's see if we move below, but there is a gap here, so we might retrace to the top side to this resistance turn support, now possibly back to resistance, and this is a new support. As you can see, we held price above, but we will see if we break below. There's 4 seconds, so we are breaking below. Nope, we are above, so there's going to be a little bit of retracement here, possibly going to stop me out. There is a gap here, and there is volume here, quite a bit of volume, since this is a big volume cluster here. So we might get a retracement all the way up here, but we'll see where price is currently, because price is moved by active orders, not pending ones. So there's a lot of active people buying and selling at market in this area. So this is a support area. As you can see, price is hovering and hesitating to go above, or below I mean, and now we are getting that wick into these volumes, because this is possibly where the next bunch of orders were pending, since you are first in, first out. And so this is a hesitation candle. So there's probably a resistance reversal coming in here soon. It's a good potential, so we'll see. There is volume here, so my stop should be outside of that box of orders. And the stop could be pretty much right here, but now we are heading towards the top side. Let's see if we go all the way back up. So volume is accumulating below this point of control. So there's a lot of volume here. So we have 10 seconds for this candle to see if we move towards the top side. So we are now filling these orders back again since we are back up here. So let's see if we fill this, then this, then this. Got stopped out, but let's see if this is the true bounce here. Looks like it might be, since we are heading and filling this volume cluster, so the next one should be above us. So you kind of want to see them as pairs. This volume versus this volume, so there's like half of it left. And then so those orders need to be filled eventually to go down to get these other half. So we will see that we probably will retrace all the way at the top. So I'll probably just still stay long, but this is a reversal rejection type candle. We'll see what the next candle looks like. If it goes to the bottom, then it's a bad area to be, and I'll get stopped out. If we go to the top, then we most likely will continue towards the top side in this projected trend line, possibly all the way up to this area here, since this is where the next bunch of volume orders are. And we will see where this next candle takes us. About 30 seconds and we are in this volume cluster, so let me move it away from that volume cluster. Looks like we are retracing here and potentially up here if we break, since there is this trend line. The price is behavioral, so trends are valid. As you can see, we are heading towards this projected trend line here. This is where the next batch of orders are. There's volume accumulating here, so there are orders being fulfilled from previous orders that may have been staying in this area. And it looks like we are consolidating, so there is quite a bit of volume accumulation and transacting in this area. And if you can see, we are in this trend line, so this might be where price rejects off of, as you can see there. So we might have a line of projection from here to here. So we might get a reversal here, and there is a line of rejection here in this candle. So we could also move our trend line like this to get the upside factors of these orders. So since this is where it popped, might get that area there. So as you can see, this is a valid area of rejection for this trend. So hopefully we are probably gonna go down, but we are at a resistance turn support here. Resistance turn support turns resistant. Hopefully this does not turn into another support. And we are probably moving towards the downside since we rejected this area. Then there's this volume cluster that we need to get fulfilled, as well as this. That's why when people say look left, these are significant areas of where volume could be, but no one tells you where volume's at other than volume profile. Looks like there could be a downward play here. Let's hope to break below, probably bounce back up, and then down. This is a big candle for the black 5-minute candle here, so that might be either continuation to the upside, since this is a break of this area to retrace into volume and then move up, or we're breaking and this is a resistance to bring us back down to fill this volume to follow this downward trend. We are up for the day. Looks like there's some hesitation here. As you saw, price just went down, up. So we'll probably, depending on if we stop above here, probably go back and retrace into this area, since this is a gap. Now we are currently in a upward trend still. So now we have this upward trend and this is the validation for us to break down. So since we are here and this is an engulfing candle, probably move more towards the upside, probably up here, probably even further and move up here, just dependent on the movement here. So it looks like this is or was a retracement into volume and moved to push to the upside here. So we are now looking to see if this is the red candle or red area. This is the resistance. So you saw that we reacted right off the top of here, since there's a volume here. And let's see if we go below this yellow line, see if we continue towards this rejection of this upward trend. Let's see. We also have that previously previous upward trend here. So this might be the bounce up to the side. It looks like that might be a bounce off this projected trend line here. Let's move it so that it interacts with these two candles, since this is a significant area where we popped up then went back down. Basically a negation for that. And this is gonna be the bounce off here possibly. Volume is accumulating, and if it does continue to the downside, there is volume here, then here. But we are in an overall upward bias, I guess, because of the 5-minute behavior of continuing the upward trend. And we have significant price in this area, since this is a gap continuated by these black candles consecutively. So there are no buy volume here, or enough buy volume to hold price up, and went just down. So there is buy volume here, so people might be selling their sell positions or being held here, so they're going to be bought up here. So buying is going to push price up to those people selling these positions, so they might have been break even for all of this. So this is just how to read. So there's this candle is going to be most important to see if we move up or down, since we are currently at this projection of the trend here. So if we move below, then there is going to be some accumulation of orders here, since this is where the next cluster is at, and we'll see if that's the case. But there is a thick volume cluster here, so that's why you can see this candle, this black one, is just as wide as this. So volume is picking up, so we are moving towards the upside, so it's a good potential for a long here and moving to the upside. So hopefully we get moved to the top side. But behavior here looks like it's not going to be that case, since if you look here, there's candle, 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 black, white. So this one's probably going to go towards the downside. So we'll see if we follow behavior here. If we follow behavior like that, moving towards the downside. So I'll probably go short and see. Got 10 seconds left here. We should wait for this candle to close because it'll probably go back up here, but we have volume here, so this is good enough decision to move our stop outside of this. Looks like we're bouncing off it. Hopefully this is a upward rejection, so we go to the downside, but we'll see. So we do need to break below here to go below us even further to move towards this volume cluster here. And it looks like we are rejecting, filling the orders here. There's a lot of hesitation to go to the downside, so we will be in a tough spot. Since the 5-minute candle had just closed, this is most likely a buy opportunity. Yep. Oh, it failed to break, but this is above this projected trend line, so that's, you can see there's a lot of volatility going, like I don't know where to go. But it does not break above here, so I will be taken out. Or not. Okay. But this is a significant area. As you can see, it's following projected price. This behavior. And it's all up to these candles to go below or above. And we're kind of staying above this projected trend line, but we are not breaking above this area. So this could be a potential of, okay, we're going slowly up, or this is a hard stop. But I think this is going to be a buy, since we are in a 5-minute candle closure of above us. But yep, this candle right here stopped us from going down. There is heavy volume, I guess, of people wanting to sell. So it looks like we may get some people just exiting their buy positions and being held up to price by selling. So there is, we're touching the bottom of the volume cluster, and hopefully we stay below it to get to the next price area, and then to the next price area, to the next price area, to fill this gap at least, and then see if we react and reject this area here. Let me put it to break even. So we are at the support area. Probably get us back up. Yep. Let me get back into this sell just to continue. So that price reaction got some stragglers probably from this area of volume cluster, and see that we did move to this volume, and as you can see, we are kind of hovering above here. So volume is being transacted, so we have red and we have green, but we have a thickness of this candle, so we need a thickness of this candle to break towards that. Gotta break below, break below. So we are now back at this resistance turned support, turned resistance possibly. So let's see if we react towards this area here, which was our projected trend line. You can see we did react towards it. Hopefully we stay below this reactionary area and then move towards the downside and then break react, break, but we do have a gap here, so there's most likely going to be a retrace up here. But this 5-minute candle is closing, and hopefully we close below, and this will be a good behavioral change for the market to show us that we might move towards the downside. So 20 seconds will dictate that. So we are filling this volume cluster and this one here, so they're equivalent. So the next ones are right here. So let's see if we do break below this area. So you see we reacted towards this. We broke a candle below this level, so we will probably react to get some of the orders to move back up, since this is a gap, and then move down. So this is a support area, a known support area, so we'll put that as a green. As you can see, we're hovering over here because this is where price had accumulated the most. So now we see if we are breaking below it or not. Well, we got 20 seconds, but this candle had closed engulfing, which engulfed these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles. So now hopefully we retrace downward to fulfill and continue that behavior to fill this gap, and our target should be at the bottom. So we do reject here, so we're going to get a retracement. Hopefully we don't get stopped out, because we will get stopped out above here. But there is this behavioral projected trend line, which will probably have some reactionary area in this volume cluster. So we'll see if we move towards the downside here. I will move my stop above this volume cluster here. As you can see, it's kind of struggling at this intersection, and we are retracing above us. Okay, so then there is a rejection here, so now we have to kind of change our mindset here. We have this, so we are now looking for areas of resistance. So this is an area of resistance to see if we move back up here, and then probably go back up here. As you can see, this is probably going to bounce off here and then move up. Yep, but we are currently at a resistance, so we are above this point of control. So this candle will dictate if we move up or down again. So we are hitting heavy resistance, moving towards this support of this projected trend. So let's see if we move above it, since we are rejecting this area. So probably go back to fulfill these orders that were first placed and see if we move back down. But we have a bias towards the downside, since look at this area, we have this engulfing candle still, and this might be the break, retrace, then move towards the downside. But this could also be, since we are in still this is an upward trend, moving towards the upside. This looks like it rejected this area, so let's see if we reject this area and then move towards the downside. Looks like we are now at a current support area, since this is supporting the price to move us up. We still have to get past this volume cluster here and then move to this upward side for the next volume cluster. So if we look towards the 5-minute chart, we could project our trend to be like so. Since this is where price had reacted, we might get the rejection off here. So we are probably going to look for this area here. So we could go all the way back up here for the retracement. We also have this reactionary area here. to see if we move up. Okay, so this area is being rejected. Well, we still need to reject this area towards the downside, or actually break through this area to move to the downside. But looks like this is still a support, since it kind of brought us and waked us back up here. So we'll see. Yeah, so there might be an upward continuation based on this. Let's see how we close. So we did close in this area, so it's kind of hard to tell. So it looks like it's going to continue up, but there's no wick here, so there might be a bounce, but we'll see. Kind of hard to tell since we have this little pattern here. Let's see if we move and stay above these price ranges, or reject that upward move and go towards the downside as per this engulfing candle. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we're going to move to the upside since we are struggling to go below. Okay, we are rejecting that area. There's 20 seconds left though. This might be a fake. We'll just look at this reactionary area. Please stay below, and then we will see that we go below, hopefully, and then pop down. But we gotta wait for it to close below this area. Since there is volume here, let's see, we filled this gap basically. Okay, we are rejecting to the above side of this projection. Let's see. Okay, this is a closed, kind of like engulfing these candles, so there might be some move up then down. I think we could short this. People love to have like wide stops, but you know, it just doesn't really matter where volume is. If it goes past you, then the next area of volume is where it's supposed to be at, so it's already negated your vision. So just start again. So there's volume here, probably get stopped out. Yep. So it did reject off this area, like I said. So that's a bummer, but this is a buy now. Since we had broken above here, my fulfillment was bad. We should be filling up above here. Since we are hovering over this volume cluster here. Should pick up these orders here. Something was placed pretty heavily to bring us that quickly back down. So this is the start of this volume cluster again, so we will see if we move up. Most likely will, since this is the start of that volume cluster. It's either my lag or something that's placing some big orders here, and This is where Bookmap would be helpful to see what kind of orders are being placed. I don't like that volatility. Might retrace this way. So we will fulfill orders up. There's volatility coming. I'd rather get stopped into nothing than reverse on me here, since we are in this area. So we should get up here first though. See if your stop losses are within outside area of volume, then you can kind of keep it tight, and you'll understand that if you blow past your stop loss, then it's probably already reversing and negated your idea in the first place. So it doesn't matter if you keep your stops tight if you're in or outside, I mean, of volume clusters. So this candle here, I probably should just leave this flatten out, since we are back here, and this is kind of more forming a downward trend from this area. So there might be some reaction in this area. And like I said, it's reacted into this downward trend. Now going back, so I might retest into this area here and then pop back up, since this is now where volume is. Let's see if we move down and back into the newest volume area, which is this. So we kind of have to keep moving in clusters. So we do have this cluster here. We've got to break through and fill this area here, but are we reacting below this price? It's like we're heading above it. So then if we break above, then it'll be a good pop. I should be done for the day though. I've made my quota for 1,000. So it's not good to overtrade, since we are in a consolidating area. It's kind of bad. We do want to wait for a breakout, but kind of don't want to wait anymore. It's past 11. Volume has dropped. As you can see, these volume numbers here have significantly dropped since market open, from 17 to 20 to 15 to 20, 15. Now we are dropping in volume. Volume is slow. Okay, it popped up. You can see we broke this, popped up. Now we are in here, and it should react to this projected behavioral trend. We did fill this gap, so I just should be done for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw today, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm on Instagram, X, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. See you again.